8 people are dead. 1 is still missing. Their bodies are marked with poles on a mountain that no one can safely reach, because in the time since the avalanche swallowed them, 3 more feet of snow have fallen on top of the same weak layer that triggered the slide. This is the deadliest avalanche in the United States in 45 years. The victims were not beginners. They were not reckless thrill seekers ignoring obvious danger. They were 7 women and 2 men, most of them mothers whose children attend a local ski academy, on an annual backcountry trip guided by 4 certified professionals. 3 of those 4 guides are now dead, and somewhere on that mountain tonight, the poles are still standing. To understand what happened near Castle Peak on Tuesday, February 18th, you have to start the day before, with a video. On Monday, a guide from Blackbird Mountain Guides filmed himself digging into the snowpack and holding the camera steady on what he found.
We walk along skin track here. I noticed below our soft snow, the recent storm event from the 10th, we got our microcrust, and then beyond that, got these nice sugary weak facets, right? So it's pretty easy right now to informally feel in the snow and find our buried weak layer. And then once we get that load, we'll see how that's gonna act.
He described it clearly. Atypical layering, a particularly weak layer on north-facing slopes across multiple elevation bands. He warned that avalanches could behave abnormally, and that the hazard could last longer than anything they had seen in a normal season. That video was posted to Instagram on Monday. The group of 15 had been in the field since Sunday. In a comment beneath the video, since deleted, the company used that same warning to promote its avalanche safety courses. Here is the timeline. Follow it carefully. Sunday, February 16th, 6:49 in the morning. The Sierra Avalanche Center issues an avalanche watch for the central Sierra Nevada, including the Castle Peak area. Large slides are likely within 24 to 48 hours. That same morning, 11 clients and 4 guides from Blackbird Mountain Guides set out for the Frog Lake Backcountry Huts, a set of remote structures at 7,600 feet in the Tahoe National Forest, accessible only on skis. The trip cost $1,165 per person and was rated for intermediate to expert skiers with at least 20 days of backcountry experience. The land trust that operates the huts describes the standard return route as carrying significant avalanche hazard. The terrain had been closed to the public for nearly a century before the huts opened in 2020. The group was not heading into the field unaware. They were already in it when the watch was issued. Sunday evening, snow begins falling. By Monday, accumulations are climbing rapidly. The Sierra Avalanche Center notes that high-intensity snowfall is loading directly onto the known weak layer. Tuesday, 5 hours in the morning, the center upgrades to a full avalanche warning, the second highest alert in the system. The language leaves nothing to interpretation. Rapidly accumulating snowfall, weak layers in the existing snowpack, gale force winds, natural avalanches likely, human-triggered avalanches large enough to bury or kill people very likely. Travel in avalanche terrain is not recommended. Tuesday, 11:30 in the morning. 6.5 hours after that warning is published, the group of 15 is moving down toward the Castle Peak trailhead, near Boreal Mountain Ski Resort. They are together. Someone sees the wall of snow. They have time to say one word. It overtook them rather quickly. Castle Peak rises to 9,110 feet in the Donner Summit area, 8 miles northwest of Truckee, a town of 17,000 near the California-Nevada border. The Frog Lake huts sit in a basin ringed by steep, north-facing slopes, precisely the terrain where persistent weak layers are most dangerous, precisely the terrain the guide had described on camera the morning before. The standard route back to the trailhead runs 3.5 miles through what the land trust itself calls numerous avalanche hazards. Zoom out further. Castle Peak sits directly beside Interstate 80, the main artery connecting Sacramento to Reno. On Tuesday, that highway was shut in both directions across 60 miles. Highway 50 closed, State Route 88 closed. 3 Sierra crossings gone simultaneously. Every road in, every road out. Helicopter rescue was impossible. The weather would not allow it. Rescuers from Nevada County, Placer County, Tahoe Nordic Search and Rescue, and the state of Nevada, roughly 50 personnel in total, had to ski in from 2 directions through whiteout conditions. It took hours. By the time they reached the survivors, it was nearly 10 at night, more than 10 hours after the slide. Here is what matters about those 10 hours. The 6 survivors had already located 3 of the dead by the time rescue teams arrived. They had sheltered under a tarp. They were communicating through satellite beacons capable of sending text messages. One guide was texting back and forth with emergency responders in real time, during the event, not after it. They were not waiting, they were working. The rescue teams found the remaining 5 victims. 8 of the 9 are now confirmed dead. 1 is still missing. The victims were found close together. The bodies could not be removed. The snowpack is too unstable. Rescuers marked each location with avalanche poles so they could be found again when the mountain finally allows someone back in. The avalanche measured D2.5 on the destructive force scale, the avalanche equivalent of a significant tornado rating, strong enough to bury, injure, or kill. A D3 destroys a house. The weak layer that caused the failure is still intact. 3 more feet of snow now sit on top of it. The San Francisco Chronicle reported that this trip was organized by a group of mothers whose children attend Sugar Bowl Academy, an independent ski school near Donner Summit, just miles from where they died. The Academy's executive director confirmed that multiple members of their community and others deeply connected to Donner Summit and backcountry skiing were lost in the slide. Placer County Sheriff Wayne Wu revealed one more detail. One of the 9 victims is the spouse of a member of the Tahoe Nordic Search and Rescue Team, one of the teams deployed to the scene. Someone who put on their gear and skied into a whiteout was skiing toward the body of the person they had built their life with. Sheriff Wu said it had been challenging emotionally for his team. That is the only way to say something that has no adequate words. Blackbird Mountain Guides co-owner Zeb Blaze confirmed that all 4 guides were certified or trained in backcountry skiing and certified to teach through the American Institute for Avalanche Research and Education. Blackbird was named the #1 avalanche course provider in the country for both 2024 and 2025. These were not amateurs. This was not negligence in any ordinary sense. This was a group of the most qualified people in the country, people who had identified the exact weak layer on camera, people who teach others to survive these conditions, caught in the field when a storm arrived faster and harder than the Sierra had seen in years. Nevada County Sheriff Shannon Moon said the guide company had clearly made decisions, and that her office is still in conversation with Blackbird about what those decisions were. A criminal investigation is underway. The season is not half over. The weak layer is still there. The new snow is still loading. The poles that mark where 8 people are buried are still standing on a mountain that no rescue team can safely reach. And tonight, somewhere near Frog Lake at 7,600 feet, it is still snowing. The mountain has not given back what it took. And the people who survived will spend the rest of their lives trying to understand why they came home and the others did not. On a mountain everyone knew was dangerous, with guides who knew it better than anyone. That knowledge was not enough.